Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Mediumcore. In today's episode I'm going to be plopping down a big building right here. Fill out more of this area. My plan for this episode is to build just a smaller one-story, not small, but a decent sized one-story building in this area. I'll probably flatten this area just ever so slightly, maybe do a little curve off right here. And get rid of this spot so I can plop the foundation down easier. I'm planning on doing something different with this build, and I'll show you what I mean when it is built. But the build isn't the main part of what I'm doing here. What I really want to do is use villagers to automate a carrot and potato farm, because I don't spend a lot of time in my basement, which means my carrots and potatoes don't often get harvested, which is not really good because I need potatoes to eat and I need carrots to trade, and I often have to go down and get potatoes if I need to eat because I don't have a stockpile of them since I'm not regularly harvesting them. So what I'm going to do is get the villagers in here so I can automate the process, so I can just have a big storage of carrots and potatoes like I do with pumpkins and melons. So without further ado, I'm just gonna go right ahead and plop down the build right here, the entire thing. Not the farm yet, just the build. I'm just gonna plop it down and I'm gonna show you how it looks. The build itself is now complete, and this is it. It's very small, but it fills out this entire area. It's short, but it's spacious. And as I said, I went for something much different with this build, much more natural looking build with the moss roof and the glow berries on the sides. And I used oak for the main wood, and I think it actually does not look too bad. It's not my favorite build just because it's so different, but it's not too bad. And the inside is just pretty simple. But it looks better than I was expecting, which is good, because that's what I was hoping. And even though it stands out, it doesn't stand out a lot. There are definitely builds that stand out a lot more, because the oak still kind of blends in with the oak of the other builds. And then the moss kind of matches up with the grass in the area. I keep hitting the grass. And ultimately, I think it actually does look pretty good in this area. And it fills out all the way to both sides of the road, so I might put something small here, like a tree or something. But ultimately, this side of that road is done. There's no more space to put anything, and that's good. That's what I want to do. I want to slowly fill out the town to have more and more builds so I can expand in different directions and make it look more like an actual town. And that, I think I've succeeded in doing this here. It's kind of hard to get a good picture of it since it just kind of blends in with the grass. But I think it looks good. It really grew on me. I didn't like it so much at first, and I was considering tearing it down, but it grew on me. And I kind of like it. So yeah. The next step here is to put in the dig hole underneath and put in the potato and carrot farms. So that probably won't take too horribly long, and I'll probably do one entrance in each side since I decided to make this a two-sided build with a little hallway in between, probably potato on this side, carrot on this side. And yeah, that's how it's going to be set up. I'm actually really excited to see how this turns out. It actually didn't take as long as I expected to get this all done, but I've done it. I've got potatoes over here, carrots over here. As the crops grow, the farmers will farm them, try and toss them to this villager, and it'll hit the fence and land into the hopper. It's not too far down, just a couple blocks. And they're on the same sides as I said. Potatoes over here on the left, carrots on the right. And what I'm planning on doing that I haven't done yet right now is the carrots and potatoes just get tossed into the hoppers. What I'm gonna do is cart them up and into a more centralized storage system of potatoes on this side and carrots on this side, so that I can access them a lot easier, and so that I don't have to go down here every time I want carrots and potatoes, because right now you can't even get to them. It doesn't matter because I just planted all the stuff, so none of them have grown, so there won't be anything to harvest. But when there is, oh, maybe? No, okay. But when there is, I don't want to have to be digging around here to get to it, because if I break these blocks, I'll be able to see through into the farm, because tilled land is slightly lower, and I don't want there to be any exposure from this to the outside world. They must be forever trapped now. So I'm gonna go underneath, carry some hoppers out in some water streams, bring them up here, and have just a centralized storage system of carrots and potatoes. That way I can always have them on hand. With the carrots, I can just take them right next door and trade them away. With potatoes, I can store them for later consumption. And yeah, so I best be getting to work on the not item filters, just the item carting systems. It is complete. My walls of potatoes and walls of carrots are done. It has been working. Not particularly large amounts yet, because it's only been like a couple minutes, but it did produce a bunch while I was in the process of building it, which is good. So I do have a start on carrots and potatoes. The carrots is just going to be traded next door, and the potatoes will be eaten as food. But that's this project done. I just realized there's a pole in the middle of the path right here. But yeah, that's this project done. I'm really glad I built this the shape that I did, because now there is no longer back sections because of how I had to do this. It's basically the back. I pulled a water stream up in there, which led into hoppers, which is why there's only two levels of barrels, because up there is where the water stream comes out, and here's the top row of barrels going that way, or top row of hoppers going that way. So I couldn't have any barrels attached to that, so it's only the two. So that allowed for me to have item frames, and it's nothing spectacular down here. It doesn't look any different actually, but the hoppers all lead now into auto dropper circuits into the water streams, so I can automatically collect the carrots and potatoes. So it's pretty much done. So I'm actually really proud of how that turned out. This is the first time I've ever automated any kind of food farm in Minecraft. I've had a lot of firsts this series. It's actually been pretty fun for me. I'm doing all kinds of things in Minecraft that I've never done before, which I think is really cool. First villager breeder, first iron farm, first automated food farm, first ever real attempt with villagers actually, first big builds in survival like this. It's not even that big, but it's the biggest thing I've ever done in survival. First time I've ever really done a lot of this in survival. First automatic melon and pumpkin farm. I think first automatic wheat farm too. Well, not automatic, but flushing wheat farm. First automatic sheep farm. First automatic sugarcane farms. It's been a lot of firsts, and I'm really proud of the progress I've made so far in this series. And this is just another step towards automating everything. And while I did that, I ran out of villagers, so I had to refill the carrots in the villagers' farm, so they start breeding again. So I've already got another baby, which is good, because I need all the babies, because if I'm gonna do anything else with villagers, I'm gonna need plenty, because actually, at some point, I do want to get respiration and aqua affinity on my helmet, which means I'm gonna need at least 2 villagers to get more books later on. So there's gonna be a lot of villagers that I need, and this making the carrots and potato farms drained me of my villagers because I had less than I thought I did, which is quite unfortunate, but I had enough. That's all that matters, is I had enough. And they're producing carrots, and they're producing potatoes, and that's all that really matters, is it works. So yeah, I'm actually quite happy with this build. It's grown on me significantly. And in the next episode, I want to do something quite different. I'll explain that more in the next episode, because I do already have plans for what I'm going to do. But yeah, that's all I'm going to do in today's episode of Mediumcore. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.